So Eddie Howe met the press this morning before that huge game against Manchester United at St James's Park on Sunday, but there was quite a lot of talk already about transfers. I mean, we are a couple of months away from transfer business really getting underway, but the good news is for Eddie Howe is he's used the international break very wisely. Said he's already started scouting or certainly looking at players that he has in mind for the summer during the last couple of weeks when he's had that extra time to do it. Remember, Eddie Howe may well have a sporting director above him. There may well be a vastly experienced scouting team being put around Eddie Howe, but he remains the man who decides which players come through the door, and a little bit like Rafa Benitez, has almost the final say on targets who come in. Yes, it is a joint effort, but I think at the end of the day it's really important that the manager has the ultimate say on those who come through the door, because he's always going to be judged on that. And so far he's had a good record of bringing players in. Most of his signings have been a success, particularly people like Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak now starting to show exactly what he can do. We did talk about the Manchester United game as well. What a huge game this was. Eddie Howe telling his players to relish the position they're in and enjoy, that top four tilt. He knows that, moving forward, the players can't be too nervous. They've got to really enjoy this run of fixtures, somewhere where Newcastle United haven't been for such a long time. I mean, 20 years since Newcastle last qualified for the Champions League. So one to enjoy, certainly this game against Manchester United. A rerun of the Carabao Cup final. Eddie Howe was asked, was revenge on the menu? He said it's not. He's focusing on the game itself. He said obviously he has thought about the Carabao Cup final, but really his thoughts are on getting 3 points in this game and certainly not revenge. I think for Newcastle, they'll probably never make up for losing that game, but certainly getting the Champions League would be a real consolation, more than a consolation in some ways. It wouldn't make up for not winning the cup, but it would certainly be the next best thing, especially if they get it ahead of Manchester United. The other big talking points, of course, in the press conference were who was going to be fit to face Manchester United. Again, Eddie Howe keeping his cards close to his chest. Anthony Gordon will train, so he's certainly got a chance of facing the Red Devils at the weekend. But more positively, Callum Wilson back training, Alan St Maximin back training, and the goalkeeper Nick Pope has shaken off a thigh problem, so they're all going to be involved. They've all trained. Miguel Almiron comes too quickly for him. Slight hint that he might be back before the time frame, slightly before. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be available for what could be the Champions League decider against Tottenham Hotspur later next month. So positive news on the injury front, but Eddie Howe, as I say, keeping his cards close to his chest when it comes to Anthony Gordon.